lions glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Hello, Nerdiverse. It is your boy Mike G, and we're back with another amazing episode of MOTN Figured It Out, where we get to talk all things collecting with your favorite neighborhood nerd, Mike G. Hope everyone's having a chill Saturday night, hanging out, and just getting into some tomfoolery. Got a lot to talk about this evening, so I hope you're all ready and rearing to get it started. Let's see, what's going on with my chat? Refresh chat. It's saying that I need to sign into chat. Oh, I see. I need to test if my chat is good, but I cannot sign in through here, which is super interesting. So we're just gonna have to figure that out. While we figure out these new things. I'm not streaming to Twitch tonight because I wanted to try to use the scheduler to see if anybody can come in, see if I'm actually live. Definitely want to test that as well, because as it stands now, I am not sure. As of this episode is going to be called The Anakin Beyond. I will let you parse out what that exactly means. Now let's see. I just want to test to see if we are good to go. Yes, we are good to go. So I just want to make sure that the chat is live and ready to perspire. For those who are watching on YouTube, yes, this is a live show. So if you would like to jump in and ask me any questions you like, anything about 1/6 scale collecting, 1/12 scale collecting, just collecting in general. I got fig pins, I got a little bit of everything. So please feel free to hit me up, not only in the chat this evening, but also in the comments of this YouTube episode. So looking forward to seeing how everyone is doing this evening. Perfect. So tonight, definitely wanted to go over some really good figures that we are going to be discussing this evening. One being the release of the brand new Anakin Skywalker, the Artisan Edition, as well as something completely different for this channel at least, the Mondo Batman Beyond. So these are going to be the two stars of the show for this particular episode. So definitely hope everyone is enjoying everyone's going to enjoy these particular topics. So I'm just kind of just taking a second to see if anybody wants to come in. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and get the ball rolling. I'm seeing if anybody wants to pop into the channel. And I'm actually just going to check really quick to see if I am indeed live. I believe I am. Just no one's in yet. Just want to make sure we are correct to the channel. And I'm actually just going to check really quick to see. Oh, perfect. We are indeed live. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and roll into our first topic, shall we? Let's do it. So, this is a figure that's been a long time coming. This is one that has been on the fingertips of collectors since it was announced. This was kind of the flagship for the artisan figures that were, I would say, broadcasted by Hot Toys many moons ago, almost a year ago. This figure was announced, and it's just one of those figures that was going to bring a lot of controversy right off the bat. And of course, with this release, collectors in the Nerdiverse were either ecstatic or not so happy, which is just par of the course for this particular type of figure that's going to draw so much attention, because it's Anakin Skywalker. He is the chosen one. So figures like this are going to bring some solid attention, just no matter what they do. And this is the artisan edition, which means that it is a higher echelon of 1/6 scale figure, kind of a step above. But what that really means, honestly, we don't know. Hot Toys has been very wishy-washy about what they consider a artisan and what they don't. Some figures, like the Beetlejuice that's going to be coming out sometime this year, has everything artisan but not considered artisan. It has the tailoring, it has the wool implementation hair, just like this figure here, but this is an artisan for some reason. We still kind of don't know what that designation is. They haven't really locked in an identity for that figure just yet. So we're all just waiting for just for them to kind of figure that out for themselves, because I don't think they have a good idea on their end. So with that being said, first initial thoughts on this figure is that it looks amazing. What are you talking about? That first image on the far left of Hayden Christensen looking directly at you with the hair, with the hand, it looks great. I could see why some people are upset, but we'll go into that into the next slide. So here's just some more images of the figure. It's just some different poses and arrangements. And just examples of how you can pose this bad boy. I think this thing looks absolutely incredible. And mind you, this was one of the figures that sold out amazingly quickly. This figure sold out in minutes, so there's a lot of people out there who aren't going to be able to get this guy. And it's a shame, because Anakin's one of those characters that everyone should have in their collection if they want to. Excuse me. Still getting over the flu I had quite some time ago. My apologies for that. One thing about this figure that a lot of people are a bit upset about is that it doesn't have leather. It has pleather, which is problematic for some people, because depending on where you live, the pleather's gonna peel a lot faster than normal. So it's gonna be a little bit tougher to manage that. Hey Nerdiverse, I know this is a live show, but I desperately need a cough drop. I'm just gonna reach and grab one in just 1 second if it's okay. Of course, I spilled my cough drops literally all over myself, as one is wont to do. Let me pop a cough drop, and we can get this party back to being started. Ooh. Shout outs to Vapor Rub for making literally the strongest cough drop known to man. And now we're ready to rock and roll. So like I was saying, there's certain things about this figure that are not really hot for the fan base of Star Wars, not really hot for figure collectors because of the hype. This is one of those figures that was severely hyped for its release. And with hype comes kind of a responsibility to make sure that you're going to be hitting a certain quality threshold. And to have something be called artisan, you would think that would be the top of the top, best of the best. And unfortunately, this figure cuts corners where it really shouldn't. The red lightsaber, the Dooku lightsaber, doesn't light up. The hair color is a little bit off of Hayden's actual shade, you know, little things like that. And of course, the head sculpt, based upon the prototype, is a little softer, it's a little less accurate, but that's a given. These figures always have a little bit of drop off when it comes to prototype to mass production. But can you tell nerds that? No, you absolutely cannot. So let's go ahead and go through the big two questions that I always find myself asking when it comes to a figure. A, does this fit in my collection? Absolutely. As you can see, I have a fledgling Star Wars, I would say, shelf over there with my Anakin, with my Vader. I can easily see putting this Anakin next to my clean Vader, and that'll be good to go if I was so blessed to receive this figure. So I guess that leads into the next question. Would I buy this? 100% I would. It's just an expensive figure. This thing was $500-600 retail. Nevertheless, how much it's going to cost aftermarket, which I'm hearing is going into the 3 figures. Four figures rather. This thing is going to be going over 1,000 easy. One cool thing that they don't talk about with this figure that I really like is that it has swappable eyes. So if you want, you can put the yellow and red Sith eyes in this guy as well, and that's super neat. So with this one, it's an absolute no-brainer. This is the best Anakin on the shelf right now. Please buy this figure tomorrow. buy it the next day if you can. If I can get it cheap, I will, but other than that, I'll just live vicariously through the Nerdiverse. Next is something a little bit different. This is the Batman Beyond 1/6 scale announcement from Mondo. Now you may say to yourself, Mike G, this doesn't look lifelike. Mike G, why is there a chest peg? Well, Mondo does things a little bit differently. They also make 1/6 scale figures, but they're more toy than hot, if that makes sense. These figures are giant action figures. They have visible pegs, they have visible cuts in the suit, things like that. But as you can see, they're going for absolute comic book or cartoon accuracy when it comes to just the overall details of these figures. I'm surprised this guy does not have a Terry McGinnis head sculpt. I think that's the one drawback, even though it does come with a secondary head sculpt with the mouth open, the grimace. But I would have loved a Terry head sculpt with this. First impressions, if I was into Mondo, this would be a no-brainer. If you have the original Batman the Animated Series figures like the Joker and Batman, Robin, this goes right hand in hand with those. So if you're collecting Mondo figures, this is almost a no-brainer if you have any Batman figure. Even if you only have Batman, you can pair Batman with Batman Beyond, and that would look so freaking sick. Just some more shots of this beautiful figure. I think this thing looks gorgeous. I think a lot of the lighting is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and when you get this in hand, you're gonna see the toy more than hot. But if you're buying Mondo, you're already kind of signed into that, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So I say more power to you. This guy comes with a full array of batarangs, different postable hands. He has the single wing like in the poster, and he has the dual wings on the back. I don't know what that egg thing is. Call me a fake Batman Beyond fan, but I really don't know what that is. I can't tell you. Some episode I missed, but it's there, Eggly. I wanted to make sure I put a picture of it because it's cute. But other than that, I think this figure is aces if you're into the Mondo collecting. This is another side of collecting that's away from realism because it's more cartoon accurate. So if you look at their X-Men figures, which are excellent, their Batman figures, which are excellent, it's all kind of within the same vein. Does this fit in my collection? No, sadly, no. I have Batman stuff. I'm a big Batman fan. I have animated series pins, but no figures. I don't really collect 1/6 scale Mondo, because at 1/6 scale I want it to look as real as possible, and it's almost impossible to do cartoon 1/6 scale that's flexible. There's some that are out there, and to me they just look atrocious. So this guy would not fit in my collection, even though it's pretty sick. And I guess the follow-up question to that would be, would I buy this? Honestly, yeah, I'd buy this. I'm a huge Batman Beyond fan. Anybody who grew up during that age, during that WB age, with a Men in Black TV show, automatically knows that this is hype. Only thing I would need is an old Batman, like an old Bruce Wayne, to pair with this. Call it a night. Call it a Dark Knight. But yeah, even just to have this standalone, like on your desk, would be sick. Is it a glorified action figure? Yes, but that's Mondo. That you're not going for studio realism here. You're going for cartoon accuracy, and it is a toy, so it's gonna have bendy arms and collapsible chest cavities and things like that. So if you're into that and you're good with that, and you're already a Mondo collector, I don't see why not to get this figure. I think this will be absolutely great, and I think that it will be a good addition to your collection. Let's talk about this guy. So this is the Darth Vader dual effect version. It's Hot Toys exclusive for the Star Wars Celebration event currently going on in Japan. There's a whole lot to say for a colorful Darth Vader. And I wish I could tell you what this is. This is like a variant on the character that has more of a, I guess what they said, it has a more of a comic book vibe to it, more like exaggerated color lines, things like that. Almost reminds me of him fighting, almost even fighting Luke in an Empire Strikes Back, where it's completely dark and you can see the reflections of the lightsabers on each of them. Or even the Kenobi show where he's, they're having their final duel and they're lit by their lightsabers. So, first impressions of this guy is, I don't know, man. If you don't have a Vader, would this be your Vader? I don't think so. There's plenty of Vaders out there that are screen accurate, and this guy is far from that. It's a cool design, don't get me wrong. Let me go into the other photos we have for him before I go too deep. It's a cool design. I like exaggerated lines like that. It's very Marvel Rivals. It's very Japanese inspired, almost like anime inspired coloring for your Vader figure. Fans are people who follow this channel know that I love pairings. I think a figure should be paired, unless it's absolutely dynamite. I think a figure should be paired with another figure. And this guy needs a brother. This guy needs a sister. I don't know what character that would be. Maybe a light up Luke would be sick, but we don't get Lukes that often. Last Luke we got, I think, was for the Mandalorian. So if they made a Luke like this, like a Bespin Luke, all colored up in junk, that would be a good pairing with this. But this is an exclusive, and I don't see these selling out like crazy. So it's probably just gonna be this guy, and I don't know if people collect Vaders like they collect Iron Men. You know what I mean? For the collector who wants that. What was the one from last episode? I figured it out. It was like the crystallized Iron Man, whatever, the fractal Iron Man. For the collector who needs every single armor. Do you need every single Vader? Maybe, if that's your shelf. But this doesn't tie to anything. This doesn't tie to any particular film or moment or anything like that. So this is very niche, which I think exclusive should be niche. I think exclusive should be for that one collector who's out there. They shouldn't mass produce this because they're just gonna have a bunch of stock sitting around. So it's a very touchy dance that they have to do when it comes to making figures like this. And what's funny is about these exclusives, while this is not for me, there's going to be an exclusive that is. And that's a scary idea because they're going to make that, Billy Zane the Phantom exclusive, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to have to get it. That's only like 1,000 in stock or something. So anybody who's looking for this, more power to you. Of course, my big two questions: does this fit within my collection? Funny enough, yeah, it does. I compare this right with my Darth Vader that I have back there, my clean version. And I just have two Vaders, but who wants two Vaders? I don't know. I'm not the type of person who likes to collect multiple versions of the same character. Even my Batman are different Batman. It's Keaton and Pattinson. It's not the same Batman. But what does this fit my collection? Kinda. It's not necessarily I'd say easy slide in. It's just something I can fake it if I wanted to make it. And lastly, would I buy this? I don't think so. Like, it's just really just not my forte. I have a Vader that I'm very happy with. Will I trade that Vader up at some point in the future? Yeah, there's gonna be a better Vader that comes out that looks cooler or whatever. And this Vader's gonna get old and busted just like any physical thing on Earth. So, but this isn't the one I would trade it up for. Just because it's just not accurate to anything, and it doesn't pair well with anything. It can be paired, it just doesn't pair well with anything. So I'll give this one a pass overall. Do I like the idea? It's neat, but it's just not something I absolutely need. Sticking with Star Wars, this is a fun one. Grogu in a bag, life-size announcement. Once again, for Star Wars Celebration in Japan. I don't think this is an exclusive. I think this is going to be mass-produced because, oh my goodness, there's been, and just initial thoughts here, there's been life-size Grogu before, but from my understanding, I never had it. It was before my collecting time, is that it was quite defective. There was issues with it. The hair wasn't right. The little jaw he has would break and shatter and crack. It was just a hot mess express. So a lot of fans weren't really happy with this Grogu initially because it was just a poor product back then. So now, and I guess with the Mandalorian Grogu coming to films soon, this guy is getting a 2.0. This is technically a 2.0, and it comes with a life-size, screen-accurate Imperial bag. I don't know, Star Wars stuff. Let's move on to the photos. So I want to include some photos that kind of, there's not much that comes with this guy. It's a life-size Grogu in a life-size bag for a life-size life. You can see the picture on the far right of a guy wearing it, Hot Toys representative wearing it. And while I don't need a life-size Grogu, I think this thing's gonna sell like hotcakes, only because there's so many, not just collectors, but cosplayers who are gonna want this to complete their cosplay illusion. For anybody who has a Mando armor that they've been walking around wearing at cons, this is gonna be perfect for your cosplay. And honestly, I can see these going up at Rebel Base or at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland and selling like crazy. You're gonna see so many people walking around with these, or walking around Disneyland, which is just their own Grogu in a bag. While it's not animatronic and it's not gonna wave at you, make cute little noises, it's something that is sick that you could just see at the park. Even though I'll be scared to bring it because someone's probably gonna try to jack that little guy and escape off with Grogu, which is a DEFCON 1. The bag itself apparently is very well made and it's screen accurate. So once again, ties back into just the cosplayers, people who are going to be rocking this with their Imperial suit. People are going to be rocking this with their Mandalorian armor. So I like and just to talk about the figure itself, I mean, what do you want me to tell you? This thing looks great. The lifelike eyes, the fine hairs on the head, wonder how they did that. The tailoring of the suit looks pretty accurate. A little too clean for me, but I like a little battle damage because Goku's been through some stuff. Waving his little hand. I think this is a home run for very specific collectors and very specific fans. Just to keep things rolling, can this fit my collection? No, but it's a life-size figure. I don't have life-size figures. I don't have a life-size Vader or a life-size Stormtrooper or a life-size Mando, so I don't think this is meant to fit in a 1/6 scale collection. I think this is meant to accentuate your collection, because a lot of us collect multiple things. Like I collect posters, I collect 1/12 scale sometimes, and of course my 1/6. So for figures like this, I think this will be a good kind of like set piece for your room, or to hang on a door, or hang on a wall next to a poster. You know what I mean? And we'll knock it out of the park. Lastly, would I buy this? Not really, man. You know, like I don't need a baby Yoda floating around my house. Nevertheless, a life-size one, because that would kind of creep me out. Mind you, I live with dolls, so I'm already kind of creeped out by these little humans and how they wake up when I go to sleep. Nevertheless, having a baby Yoda running around the house bothering the cats. So no, this is not really a purchase for me. But do I believe that this thing's gonna sell like hotcakes? Abso-freaking-lutely. I think this thing's going to go insane with the overall Star Wars fan base, not to mention 1/6 scale collecting. And the last figure of the evening I wanted to talk about is a strange one. Once again, this is a weird episode. Just not all 1/6 scale, mixes of little things here and there. And today, we have the Batman Dark Knight Rises action figure, 1/12 scale, by InArt. And my goodness, this thing. First initial thoughts. This may be the best 1/12 scale figure ever made. The attention to detail, the way that it hides the seams, like we were just talking about, the Mondo Batman Beyond, and how that figure, you can see the joints, you can kind of see the cuts in the torso, and I think InArt did a very good job at hiding it quite well for this particular figure. The likeness to Christian Bale is uncanny at 1/12 scale. I think this thing is absolutely out of control. Wanted to also send some pictures of the accessories it comes with, some batarangs, different mouthpieces, magnetic cape. You know, it's just a really well, I would say, put together package. Not to mention, this thing looks pretty flexible. Looks like you could be able to get multiple poses out of this guy with little to no fuss. So as you guys can probably tell, my voice is going out for some reason. So I'm gonna try to make this one quick. Does this fit my collection? Absolutely not. I don't collect 1/12 scale. And I don't really have any Bale Batman stuff. I don't have Heath Ledger Joker in my collection, and this just wouldn't fit. Now, would I buy it? Yes, this is honestly the coolest 1/12 scale figure. And mind you, 1/12 scale, for those who are not sure, is like your average action figure size. Like your bigger than a G.I. Joe, but like the size of, let's say, like a Marvel Legends or a Mayfex or a Fig Arts or something like that. This thing is insane. Like I said, I wouldn't buy this, but I would buy this, but it doesn't fit my collection anywhere. So I heard it's like under $100 too. Get out of here, man. This thing is a no-brainer. Now they just got to make a Joker to. Now, you know what they have to do now? Now they have to make this figure in 1/6 scale. And I'm really curious to see what their 1/6 scale Bale Batman would look like. So this figure has me hyped for the future. If they keep going down this 1/12 line, I think it'll be very lucrative for them, because there's more 1/12 scale collectors than there's 1/6. I can promise you that. So I really like this figure. So just some topics I like to discuss towards the end of the episode. One topic is, our video game 1/6 scale figures coming, and this is really based off of the most recent Nintendo Direct that announced more information on the Metroid Prime 4 kind of like release, and just more information on that, and new Samus armors and things like that. And from my understanding, a lot of the 1/6 scale distribution companies who make these figures, are really scared of of making video game figures, because they're afraid that the market will maybe just too small. You're not going to get your Avengers Endgame load out from, let's say, a Samus Orion or a Link, but there has been precedence for, I would say, larger video game based figures. Like the Jin Sakai is really cool. There's a bunch of power armors from Fallout that honestly want one. I just haven't had a chance to lock in one of those. But I think there is a chance that they will. All it takes is one to knock it out the park. All it takes is one figure that opens the floodgates, and that's with anything, right? So I think that this is definitely something that does have potential. And the last topic of the evening is the Avengers Doomsday 1/6 potential. This is going to be a gargantuan line of 1/6 scale figures. The big news last week was the 2-hour name chair extravaganza listing every single actor who's going to be in Avengers Doomsday and some more that they haven't announced yet. I think it was over like 35 to 40 names that they dropped. Extrapolate that to 1/6 scale, and it's a terrifying number for those who aren't swimming in money. One thing I will say about this is that based upon a lot of people are thinking, oh, we're finally going to get a Namor, we're finally going to get a Professor X. But mind you, based upon the leaked, I would say the leaked art for this movie, it's going to be based like in medieval times. It's going to be based in some war world where they're all going to look drastically different. So I don't think you're going to get your iconic looks in this line. I think you're going to get the stuff that's more akin to the war world that Doom is going to create in Doomsday. So with that, you may be able to save your money, because if you're not totally in love with this film and in love with the versions of the characters you're going to get from this film, then this may be the biggest skip in Hot Toys history. But we don't know. It's all speculation because we don't honestly know how this movie is going to flow. Are we going to get the X-Men in their classic suits? Are we going to get medieval times X-Men? We don't know. We just don't know until the movie comes out. So it's all pretty much up in the air, and it can either be the highest highs or the lowest lows. I have an inkling this movie's going to do great, but is it going to be 35 to 40 Hot Toys great? I don't know. But then again, the end game run of Hot Toys figures is like 20 to 30 figures deep. So I think this has the potential to do that if the movie's good. And Marvel has a lot to prove with this film and a lot riding on this film. So my first inclination is that yes, this is going to be a deep line. Yes, it's going to be Armageddon for a lot of people's pockets. And we'll just have to wait and see. And just so you guys know, it's a no-brainer. I'm definitely getting Doom. I don't care what it looks like. I'm getting that Robert Downey Doom. I need Doom in my collection. So that's that. And that brings us to the end of our episode. Like I said, this was a fun one to talk about. Anakin looks great. The Batman Beyond is a very interesting figure that I feel is going to hopefully open some people's eyes who've watched this and can kind of see the other side of figure collecting. If you've enjoyed this content, please follow us on Instagram, 2D Odin. Master of the Nerdiverse herself is doing great work over there. So please follow us on Instagram, follow us on X, and definitely subscribe on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Comment on this episode. Which figures are you looking forward to? Do you think the Anakin looks Anakin? Or does it look great? What are your opinions on it? I'd love to hear them. And subscribe to the channel so that you're made aware of upcoming news and events. I'm going to be working on the first MOTN unboxing video for this guy right here. It's going to be a secret, but I hope you guys enjoy that video. It's going to be my very first unboxing video. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out. Also coming up is MOTN Random Select, which is going to be our annual year event, where 8 films are pitted against each other and only one will remain. I can't wait for that. It's going to be a very fun experience, so please look forward to that. All this being said, thank you for watching. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G. This has been MOTN. figured it out. And as I always like to say, collect what you love and love what you collect. Take care, peoples.